Sup guys, my name is RYN Scott, RYN Scott. Originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I am in Metro Detroit now, rap and hip hop artist. It's here to spread good vibes and get to the people. So you can find me on Instagram at RYN Scott Music or Facebook at RYN Scott Music. You can find me Spotify, Apple Music, basically everywhere. Got a website, rynscottmusic.com. Check that out as well.
If you gotta go, even when you don't know, you don't need to be afraid. You're not riding all alone. There's another in the fire right beside you on the road. When you're tired and you're weary, bring rest to your soul. Cause sometimes you gotta go, even when you don't know. You don't need to be afraid. You're not riding all alone. There's another in the fire right beside you on the road. When you're tired and you're weary, bring rest to your soul.
Been inspired by music for a long time. Wrote poetry when I was younger, and then from there. I used to get one. I got one of those little mics. I had like a gateway computer at my mom's house, so I got a little mic, and it popped basically with everything I was doing. But somehow I set it up, got my magics going, and it just sounded cool to hear myself. And after that, basically everyone telling me how bad it was got me to make it good. So I've been doing this for probably 10 years now, inspired by obviously Marshall, Royce, John Connor, all the way into like Fleetwood Mac, Bob Seger, everybody. Like music has just always been an inspiration to me, and I want to be a voice for the people to help them. You know what I mean? It's not about me. It's about my words and getting it out to people who need it. So
would you say that that's your main inspiration then?
Definitely.
And how do you pull that inspiration from other people?
It's just for me, it's always just been about being genuine in what I say, not coming up with things to get a rise out of people or to sell records or anything like that. It's just speak from the heart. And I know how I grew up. I know my story. I know what I've been through. No one can tell anybody what they've been through. So that's what I do. I just say things that hopefully resonate with people, and then the feedback I get, if it helped change a life or it helped you get through an hour of your day, 24 hours of your day, a week, whatever, it helped. And if it's one person or a million people, it doesn't really matter to me as long as I'm staying true to it. So
how did you develop that thought process? Because so many people go into music for instant gratification or for the shock value. Like, how did you say, I'm going to go the completely different route on this and build that authenticity?
Definitely how I was raised. Like, that's just is what it is. I mean, I had a very loving family, a mom and dad who taught me, like, integrity, respect, and that it's about people, it's not about me. So I would say, yeah, definitely how I was raised had a lot to do with it. And I just am a very, I don't really like attention that much, just never have. Music has always been something that got me away, like in my own zone. It's like my baby. So it felt good to do that. And not having to worry about really what anybody thought. So I wouldn't want to create something that was not authentic, because then you would be worried about what people thought, and then it's not real anymore. So
how did you, because I feel like, I mean, as an artist myself, and even staying authentic, how did you develop the fearlessness of I'm going to be authentic and I'm not going to worry about what other people say? Because even when you are being authentic, there is a part of most people that are still afraid to even put that authentic side out. So how did you develop that thick skin to say, this is who I am and I'm going to stand by it?
I think that comes down, with you as an artist too, I think you feel it. And when you first start with music, right, it's a lot easier to go another route of saying what you think the crowd's going to like because you want to get your views or you want to get your plays up, whatever. But as you grow and as you age, I'm 31, you know what I mean? I am at a point in my life where authenticity is very important to me. Always has been, but I want to be as in tune with myself as possible, so I don't feel right going on stage, doing records and saying words out of my mouth that I don't stand by 100%. And at the end of the day, this is just a small portion of life. Like, I'm a big believer in God myself, not pushing that on anybody, but yeah, it's just again how I was raised. So I believe in staying true to that, and if I'm not doing anything good for people, then it is just for me. And if it ever is just for me, then I don't want to do it anymore.
You keep bringing up authenticity, and I feel like for a lot of people, not just artists, finding themselves in being authentic to who they are when they don't know who they are is very difficult. How did you come to a place where you realized, like, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I represent? Like, what steps did it take for you to get to that place where you were settled in your skin?
I think we're all getting settled still. Like, I think we're going to be settling for the rest of our lives, like trying to figure out ourselves. But it's growth, it's life, it's learning that nothing is ever permanent. And it was coming to that understanding, and I might be even getting off track here, but nothing is ever permanent. And you have to live and you have to learn. You have to be able to make mistakes. You have to be able to be vulnerable. And getting that thick skin is from failure. Like, failing made me everything that I am. That's how you do great things in life. That's how you become. It's all about becoming. And if you aren't willing to fail, then you can't get anywhere. And most of the time, anything that has ever come true in my life was because I had to get through a barrier to get it. So, like, even getting on stage for people, it's scary. Like, getting on a record is scary. Like, getting in a studio is scary. But every small victory that you make is one step closer to feeling that accomplishment, and then you feel that confidence, and then you just take that and you move with it. You just keep going.
You gotta go even when you don't know. You don't need to be afraid. You're not riding all alone. There's another in the fire right beside you on the road. When you're tired and you're weary, bring rest to your soul. Cause sometimes you gotta go even when you don't know. You don't need to be afraid. You're not riding all alone. There's another in the fire right beside you on the road. When you're tired and you're weary, bring rest to your soul.
So tell me a little bit about Peaks and Valleys as a whole bodied work.
So Peaks and Valleys was an album that I came up with based off of just the ups and downs in life, you know. And my main goal with music was to write something real, is to connect with people. That's the whole reason I do music in the beginning, and the whole reason why I want to do music. So Peaks and Valleys is like the heartbeat of life, right? So you have ups and downs, and if you don't have your ups that make you confident, that make you grow, that make you don't get out there and get on stage and get up in front of people, you need that. Not cockiness, but confidence. But then you also need the lows that humble you and bring you back home and take you back to that place of recognizing who you are. And you can't have one without the other. So that was my whole idea with Peaks and Valleys, is I wanted to show the peaks, so my high points in life, the things that kept me going, that made me believe in myself, but then also the low points in my life, like the song Low. It's probably the best to describe it. You know, I just wrote about that introspective, you know, when you really got to dig deep and look into your heart and into your mind and where you're at in life and figure out where you want to go. And a lot of it had to do with me stepping away from socials and stepping away from everything and just kind of living life outside of music for a while, so I could connect with my inner being and really understand where my thoughts and heart was, because most of the important things are all around us. We already have them. The people that love us, our family, our friends, like, they're already here. And it's like I was chasing music for so long, and you can get lost in making that your priority, or you're finding value in just that, and not truly like who you are outside of an artist. So Peaks and Valleys was like something I came up with after a lot of alone time spent with myself. So definitely one of those.
Yeah, so you have a couple features on the album, which were amazing. Both the features were great. Let's talk about Lost for a second. What was the inspiration by putting that out as like the first song, as the first single of the album?
So shout out to Jake Bass, who produced the entire album. He brought me on, 5 years ago, and we've been going at it ever since. So he has a way to capture that cinematic vibe that I've always looked for, because I want it to be like a ride. I want it to be like a movie almost, because that's how some of my favorite influences did it, and that's how I got hooked. And but Lost in general was, maybe I'm lost, maybe that's okay, maybe that's the only way to travel, pack a bag. Taking on the world, maybe that's what haters say, waiting on tomorrow, but maybe that's a ways away. So
love it.
It's like, it was my way of saying, like, it's okay to be lost. I think we have this tendency to say that lost is kind of bad, that you're on a bad track, or that you're in. I think you have to get lost to get found. So,
and discover parts of yourself.
Exactly.
I think that like vagueness in life, when you maybe feel like lost, or you lose your sense of direction. I think that's where the universe kind of leads us to find the gold within us that we didn't know was there. Like, I think that's just such an amazing message with that song. Low was another one that I just loved. I mean, and honestly, I loved every single song off the record, but we'll be here all night. Like,
thank you so much.
They were so good. Low was so good. To All My Demons, featuring Crystal Ray, which of course I went and stalked her after. She's fantastic. But To All My Demons, but Not Alone. And when I heard that song, I was like, oh my gosh, this was like the anthem to my move. Like, and I wrote down the chorus. Sometimes you got to go, even when you don't know. You don't need to be afraid. You're not riding all alone. Like, that was like, I was like, oh my God, like, it's giving me chills just thinking about it. And I was like, this was my move. Like, I was like, I don't know why I'm going here, but like, I know I got to go. And like, so I felt like that alone too, those lyrics just, and then I think the next line was, there's another fire, or what's the next line? I think I just wrote it wrong.
Beside you on the road.
Yep. And then, you're not, you can, rest your soul. It was just like, that whole song was just like that. I don't know. They were all my favorite, but that one was like, in the moment, that one was like top of my list. So, so let's talk about that song for you, and where you came from with that song.
So kind of like you, you moved out to Nashville, right? And, you're doing it alone. I had a similar experience when I moved out to New York for 3 years. And that was a very trying time for me. Some of my highest of highs, but lowest of lows. Because I moved out there, didn't know anybody, and I had to make it work. And so I felt those emotions, as well as the emotion of, getting on a stage by yourself, being vulnerable, putting yourself out there. And, I'm a big believer in God, and I always pray before every one of my shows, because I need him to get me through the show. And that's when I say, like, those feelings when I'm, you're sitting there and you're about to go on, and you're going to have all these people judging you and looking at you. And you're wondering, you can't do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but you have somebody riding with you, and having that confidence, I think that's gotten me to where I'm at. And so I wanted other people to feel that, like, no matter what you're going through, you're never alone. Because I think we have this perception that you are alone, but really we're all alone in this together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're all going through different things in life. And, I have trials, you have trials and tribulations, and we're kind of all the same, and we're all in this together. So that was what I was playing off, and seeing you get excited about it. And like that's to me what this whole thing is about, is I can push someone a little bit further. So, and like, you said, you believe in God, and I'm also a faith-based person. And, so for me, that was like such a good reminder of like, okay, you're not alone, you got this. And I've talked to my family about this, that so much change has happened for me personally over the last few months, and just that feeling that like, okay, I got this, it's not alone. Like, that song was just like, like literally spoke so strongly to my soul, that I was like these, all the songs were so good, but I was like, that song like literally brought tears to my eyes. I was like, okay, we're not alone, it's fine. Like, it was so good. So I saw on your Instagram, did you just release the music video for To All My Demons? Yeah, so we shot that at the con building in downtown Detroit. And we have a rooftop series that we've been releasing. So just clips of different songs on the album, just to highlight them. And Crystal Ray came up there, Dave Fio came up there, DJ Beck came up there, and we just had the best time, just performing and being together, because that was the first time that we had everyone that was on the album and played a role in it be there at the same time. So my fiance came up there, a couple friends. It was just it was a cool experience. So
that's very cool.
Yeah, and we have more of those to come too. So we're gonna keep hitting you with them.
Cool. That's awesome. So what is something that when people listen to this album, like, what's something that you like, a couple takeaways? Because I feel like as artists, we do want to let it be up for interpretation. But what would you say would be like one thing that you really hope that your audience takes away from this album as an entirety?
Oh man.
I hit you with the deep ones.
Oh man. I would say for me, and I don't want to sound cliche, but it really is about finding your truth and staying true to yourself. Being humble, being a good human to other humans. I believe that, all of the songs on this album, I didn't write until I had the motivation, inspiration to write. So like not a word slipped through my mouth just to make a record. It was like, I felt every single thing I said. And that realness comes from a homegrown mentality, and a family-oriented mentality, and just friends and family first. And that realness that comes with like genuine connection. I tried to grab all of that and put it into this album, and just being true. Like, I'm going to tell you what's the truth about the industry. I'm going to tell you like what really matters. And we all have different perspectives and things like that, but these are my truths. And sometimes you can get lost in the lights and what other, there's so much art out there that can lead you the wrong way. So I'm just trying to stick to what I know is real to me, and hopefully it resonates with everybody else. So I know that was more than like one word, but
no, that's all good. Yeah, no, that was all good. I want to talk a little bit about dope. So, and I'm cracking a cold one right here. I got my dope water, of course.
Yeah, shout
but
out
dope
to
is an
dope
acronym. What was that?
I said shout out to dope real quick.
Shout out to dope water. So dope is an acronym. It stands for daring, original, purpose, and esoteric. And we always ask these questions. And we're pushing people to go pursue their dope ass dreams. So, our first one, we're going to go through each one of these because we pick these words also intentionally, as you did with, when you're writing your album. We picked these words to represent the dope dream, the dope mission, on what we think, are the building blocks to people pursuing their dreams, and what it takes to, be fearless in the pursuit of what, is in your heart, what your passion is. So the first one is daring, is being daring in the pursuit of your dreams. So what makes you daring?
Man, you're really doing it to me. My goodness. I think what makes me daring is what would make anybody else daring to pursue something that is not ordinary, or to pursue something that makes you vulnerable, puts you in vulnerable situations, like getting on a stage, or any type of pursuit, really. Trying to be a doctor, a lawyer, or anything that, anything. So to each his own with that, but to dare to go after it regardless of what people think, or regardless of how many times you fall, you just get back up. So that's daring.
Love that. All right, next one on the list here. What has made you original?
Truth. For me, it has always been about staying true, and being myself, not just in music to the people I love and the people around me, and not jeopardizing any of that. Even when I write music to make an extra dollar or something like that, it's never been about that. So definitely sticking to my truth for sure.
Love that. All right. So there's two parts to this next one, and you don't have to answer one of them because I feel like sometimes these things are personal and it's okay. So two parts is, what would you say your purpose is, if you feel comfortable answering that, and how did you discover that purpose?
Man, I would say my purpose is to push people further, to use my words, my passion to help people, not just to take for my own. I don't care if anything ever happens with music, as long as other people move forward. So I would rather, my purpose is serving as an inspiration for other people to push their story and further along their journey. And I already forgot the second part.
So the second part of that was, how did you discover that purpose?
Man, it's through the people. It's like when I started doing music and I saw how it made my friends feel, and just the comments and the feedback I would get pushed me forward to the point where like I got addicted to it, not in I need attention type of a thing, but like when I saw my friends, you know, working out to my music, or having a drink to my music, you know what I mean? Like, or just riding to my music. That to me was like, I did something that made someone feel a certain way. And to me, that is like everything. That's my motivation. So, yeah.
Great. That's a great answer and great inspiration. All right, so the last one here is esoteric. And I always give the definition of this because I feel like this is not a normal word in our everyday lives. So esoteric means to exhibit, it's exhibiting knowledge that is restricted to a small group. So we kind of use this in more of like a support system, or like an inner circle, like a tribe. You know, a big saying everywhere is you are who you surround yourself with, and having that close people that you can trust with your dreams, and that know, you know, who you are as a person. So can you talk a little bit about your community and the people who are kind of like in your inner circle, and how they've impacted your career as it's moved forward?
Yeah, so I've always believed in people first, and connections, and genuine relationships, because they're so important when it comes to, not that you use people to get somewhere, but it's like a team effort where, you know, if I win, you win, you win, I win type of a thing. And there's so much to be said about protecting your light and protecting your energy. And it's very important to know who you are, and also who is around you. If you don't have people in your life that pick you up, if you don't have friends that root you on, that'll ride with you, that go to your shows, that just rock out to what you have going on, as equally as you should rock out to what they have going on, because it's not all about me and it's not all about you type of a thing, like I said. So but it's so important to find like-minded people who are pursuing something or on that journey, as well as it is important to just be cool with everybody. Like, you know, friends starting a business, like I have friends who are sales reps. I have friends who, you know, like my fiance's doing a vegan blog right now and cooking, and she's amazing at it. And I have a friend, you know, who's trying to become a lawyer. I've like all of these different areas in my life, and people the beautiful part of it is like to see them winning, and then them see me winning, is like you feed off that energy together. And that is so cool. It's not like, oh, because I do music, I just have music friends, or that the industry is all I have. No, I think it's got to go both ways. And once again, like Jake Bass, really took me under his wing and giving me a chance and brought me into a studio and produced all my music and helped me find my voice. And without that, you know, without the people, I'm not talking to you. So, and I'm sure you would say the same.
Yeah.
Like, with Dope, like, look how many hands probably play a role in Dope Water and getting that going. So.
Excellent. All right. And we've got one more question for you. Maybe the most important question. I don't know. What is your dope ass dream?
My dope ass dream would be to be happy. Very cliche, I understand.
Yeah. Hey, no, that's a great one though.
But happiness to me just means that, like, I stay true to what really makes me happy, and those are like the homegrown elements mixed with the pursuit of music and wherever God wants that to go, you know, whoever he wants that to touch. It's just finding the faith to trust it and be happy in the journey.
If you want it, then I got it. I'm not saying I'm a prophet. I know gotta keep me honest. That's why I don't make a promise if my heart is not about it. Only problem with these artists is they feed you lots of garbage and they speak it like it's honest, but their feet are not about it. Putting demons in your closet while they eat off all the profit. I've been doing me regardless. 100 views and 0 comments, staying true when it was hardest. Pay my dues like here's my wallet. You can have it, I don't want it. Cause the truth is I know everything's happening for a reason. I believe it, I can see it. It's abracadabra season. The magic is all around us. Our happiness is our freedom. The lack of it gives us meaning like acronyms as you read them. No accidents, only reasons to take a lap and then deepen and circle back. Let it sink in. The past and present are teaching us valuable lessons, even if it doesn't make sense in a moment. Just know you're always where you're meant to be, own it. And don't ever try to control it. That pursuit will be hopeless. I've tried it myself, dipped and toe in, but the water was frozen. Why do we wake up in the morning with both eyes open? We are willing to look at life with our eyes open. Sometimes you gotta go.